afternoon, everybody. How are we? Right. Welcome to Wednesday. If you've only just got up, in fairness, you're doing really, really well. Right, okay. So, for those of you that don't know me, my name's Bev. I'm from Bee Crafty, and on a Wednesday at 2 o'clock, either myself or Sam, usually, come to Crafting Together with All Brands to do a live. And today we're going to be doing some art journaling in my Dina Wakley journal. And we're going to be using some Dylusions Sprays, some Bee Crafty stamps, etc. Hiya, Sue. And we're going to do another page. Okay, so this is my new Dina Wakley 6x6 journal. I started it last night. I did the first page in it on the Bee Crafty Try It Out Tuesday. And in all honesty, I just really want to do another one again. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to do another page in my little Dina Wakley journal. These journals are great because the sizes aren't, the page aren't too big, you know, to worry you or fuss you, you know, if you struggle to get started sometimes. But they are fun, and it's a lovely texture, which is really cool. Who stole the sunshine? I have no idea, Shireen, but if I get hold of them, there's going to be trouble, because we were experiencing some absolutely beautiful weather there for a bit, weren't we? And now, shall we say, not so much, it would appear. So there we go. Right, so although I'm going to leave the first page blank for a while, that's one I'll tend to come back to. I'm thinking, instead of going further through my book, why don't your precipitation is falling in flakes here, Dominique. I refuse. I thought what we might do is go straight on to this one. Now, when I was working on this page last night, and I was spraying, I had sort of like a cast-off sheet, an older cast-off sheet over here, which had oranges on it, and lots of us noticed how good the purple looked next to the orange. Oh, let me find it here. Here we go. How good the purple from the Villainous Potion looked next to this orange. So my thought was, what I'm going to do is I'm going to work with oranges and stuff on this page to sort of carry that on. What do we think? Do we think that's a good idea? I mean, that's what I'm committed to, so that's where we are anyway. But I thought, most recently, I've used gloss sprays, and for example, last night I was using the oxide sprays and spray stains. So I thought what I might do this afternoon is work with some Dylusions spray. I absolutely love Dylusions sprays. They were my very first ever ink sprays, and I do feel that sort of, I don't know, affinity, loyalty, whatever. I just like them, so it's good. Right, so what we're going to do is we're going to work on here. Now, believe it or not, I have actually done some prep, but I did forget one thing, and now I'm struggling to find it. I have an old book that I used to rip pages out of, and I wanted some sort of book text to go on first. So if you just bear with me, talk amongst yourselves. Yeah, Sammy, do you remember you offered to come up and do some work in my craft room? I think we're now at that stage, and because I keep going, no, it's all right, I'll sort it. No, we're now at crisis point. I think that's where we've got to. Right, I can't see any book in my book that I rip pages out of, so that's no good at all. It's all right. We will continue on another way. Jan, you're injured, so you're off work. Oh my God, my darling, are you all right? Goodness gracious me. That is no good at all. You know when you just look around, you're hoping that something will just jump out and go, here I am, it's me you're looking for. I think we might have to face the fact that is not going to happen today. So, just going to have one more look over here, and it's not there. Right, I have got, though, some old ledger pages. Now, these are genuine ledger pages. I'm not sure. I bought this ledger off a boot sale. I might as well show you what I'm doing. I bought this ledger off a boot sale, I want to say 4 years ago now. It was pre-pandemic, so it must be. And I bought it so I could art journal in it. But it's got 1921 information in it. I mean, this is now 100 years old, and I don't think I can. I honestly don't think I can. Isn't that absolutely beautiful? Just absolutely stunning. Yeah, so sorry, I'm not using that either. Right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my Dina Wakley collage paper folder, and we'll use some of that to go in the corner. I'm going to use some of this one. I haven't used any of this one yet. This is the Elements. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab one of these out of here. Which one should we go for? I'm thinking either this circly one here or the main circly one on the front. Okay. Thinking the main circly one on the front. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to use it. I'm going to have to scan the pages in. But that's okay. Honestly, you should see the books that Sam and I have that we bought with full intention of effectively destroying it, and then we chicken out. We really do. Okay, so we'll take this. Now, if with Dina Wakley collage paper, if you cut it on the if you rip it on the short side, you'll see you can rip it in a perfect straight line. However, because of how the grain, you get a more torn edge if you go this way. But I actually really like that. I think it gives you a funkier edge if you want, or you can go that way if you wanted, for example, straight lines. I think it opens up the possibilities to you, whereas if it, for example, if it tore perfectly on both axes, that's a good word for you. If it tore perfectly on both axes, you know, where would you go from there? So I quite like that. Okay, so I'm gonna put our gel medium on here, and then so I use the Dina Wakley gel matte medium, but obviously you could use your distress matte medium, you know, whichever's your preferred one. Right down into that corner. Also, if you do remember my last journal, my last 6x6 journal, I would use the La Luna star stamps on every single page. I've decided that this one is going to be the Doodle art mandalas. They're going to appear on every single page. Alrighty, so I'm just going to tear that. Oh, hello. Oh, this all there. And then fan that back out with my brush. Absolutely lovely. So I'll really work it into that corner. Beautiful. And then I'm going to give it a quick heaty set. Oh, now Noreen, a Dylusions journal, honestly, once you start tearing out the pages of a Dylusions journal, you will not stop. Honestly, the cardstock is so good. It's really good for your sprays and stuff. Honestly, you definitely do want to do that, I promise. But I remember when art journaling was sort of in its infancy. I mean, there are people that have come up behind that are much better at it than me. And I should be better considering I'm doing it so long. But I used to run an art journaling group really on a Sunday, on the first Sunday of every month. And I remember the first time I ripped a page out. My ladies were horrified, like horrified. In terms of book pages that I use for art journals, what I do is I go to charity shops and I ask them if there's they've had any damaged books in, because obviously they can't sell damaged books. But I buy the damaged books and I put a donation in, and that way, because they're damaged and they don't have all the pages, I don't feel so bad ripping them up. Yeah, because I have guilt. I can't rip up a book. So, and I think now that Ledger's sort of gone over that 100-year mark, it just makes it all the more untouchable. Right. So anyway, what I'm going to do is we're going to go in. Now, I am going to spray these a little, I think. But what I'm primarily wanting to do is I'm going to get my mug of water that I use. Look, it's very nearly clean. I think that's pretty good for me. Right. And we're going to sort of, I don't want to use the word drench, but we're going to apply a lot of water to this page. Okay, and then I'm going to use primarily Postbox Red and Lemon Zest, and if I don't get enough oranges, I'm going to put some Tangerine Dream in. Okay, so we're going to go here and just start sort of putting the colours where I might want them to be, because what I might do is just use my sprayer to add in more water. Okay, and then I'm going to go for some lemon zest across here. I've got a little mini mister here. Just got some water in it. So we're going to go in and create some pouring. That's excellent. Oh, my phone just fell down. Is it now? So, and you can also use a brush with your water on to sort of guide it where you want it to be. Sort of get the ink moving how you want it. Okay, I'm just going to grab another one of my mop-up sheets here. She says, and just soak up some of that that's in the crease there. There's my painty towel, that's going to go quicker. So I'm going to heat that, and then I'm going to go back in with some more Postbox Red, because a lot of it has gone to the orange. Okay, is it now M, Bev? I'm missing something. I'm just going to lift that up. So catch that. Trying to get that droplet to fall. No, it's not. Okay. And then so I'm going to go back in with my Postbox Red. There's several reds in the Dylusions sprays. They are quite different. For example, Postbox Red is this sort of very, very red colour, whereas the Cherry Pie sits more on the bluer side of the colour wheel, so it's more of a pinky sort of blue, whereas the Postbox Red and some of the others lean towards the warmer side of the colour wheel, so they give you more of an orange tone. But it's really, the good thing is there's lots of reds to choose from, so you can really sort of get the look you want. We're just going to make that run. And this is also a good way of adding in, if you want the sort of painty or the spray effect, but you don't feel comfortable spraying the colour, okay, doing it this way means you can put the colour where you want it to be and then spray with water. And then you don't have to worry about cast off so much. You know, if you worry about spray getting out over things, you know, you haven't got to worry about that quite as much, because it's just the water then. So it's just another option if you are, you know, if that sort of thing concerns you. Do you know what I mean? Which is great. So we're just going to heat set that. You will find it's a little tougher to dry on top of the matte medium because that paper is now sealed. Whereas obviously on this, I didn't gesso this or anything, so it is quite absorbent and it is quite weighty. That'll need restuck down, but that's okay. Where these little sprays were where I was taking the tube out of the bottle. Lots of exciting stuff there. Okay. And I wouldn't want anyone to say, well, I actually really like the effect of Dylusion sprays, but I wouldn't use them because I'm worried about the spray. So using them like this and then using a water to get the ink moving is a really good thing to do. And in fairness, if I'm using Dylusion spray in my Dylusions journal, I will very often give it a light misting to start with. It helps the ink move, and also your Dylusion sprays will still ghost after that, so that they are actually a really good medium to work with. They're ever so forgiving, and you can get really good results, especially if you want a lot of coverage in quite a short space of time. Okay, from here we're going to go with sort of like a floral theme today. So I'm going to be using the Doodle Art butterfly stamps. Now, if you were this is some old packaging. Nowadays, when it comes, you get a coloured in packaging on the front. So this is the Doodle Art butterfly. So we're going to be using the vine here with all the leaves on, and we're going to be using this flower and some extra leaves that I've cut out, but I might use some extra bits. And we're also going to use the Journal Art Elements. This is the Journal Art Elements 1. There is also a number 2 because I want to use this bit here. Okay. Oh, craft lunch! Righty-ho. So, I did actually mean to put some green on. I could put some green on with a blending tool. So, last night for the first time, I used some of the Domi Foamies, okay, which are absolutely lovely. I'm actually really, really impressed with them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of the Domi Foamies and I'm going to put it on my blending tool. And I'm going to look for a nice green in Distress Oxide. Now, I'm specifically using Distress Oxide in this case. We'll go for Lucky Clover. Or do I want something slightly brighter? Might add in a bit of crushed olive. I've sort of forgotten what I was going to say. Ah, yes, that was it. I'm specifically going for crushed olive in this instance because I want it to sit on top of any of the Dylusions. Okay? But it goes over. And I'm going to be using the Inkables big one, Jungle Leaves, because I want a sort of leafy impression, because like I said, we're going to be going like flowers in the leafy vine. So hopefully that will bring it all together. So I'm going to go with some Lucky Clover first, I think. In here. And then maybe some crushed olive over the top. Oh yeah, the crushed olive's definitely where it's at. Okay, and then what I might do is add in a bit more along this side. So again, you can stick your Inkables big ones down. Unfortunately, I'm just not patient enough for that. I probably should be. Right, and then I'm going to go to my crushed olive. I'm going to add that in over here. And just to give that little bit, and then I think what I'm going to do is go around the edge slightly with my crushed olive, just to bring that bit of green in that I'd forgotten about. Okay, I sort of rubbed out, sorry, sort of rubbed out some big one there, but that's okay. Then I'm going to take some of my Dina Wakley gloss in the white, the acrylic gloss in the white, and we're going to shake that up until we can hear. Ball bearing go. Okay, and then I seem to have lost quite a lot of my orange when I went back in with the postbox red, but I'm now committed. I don't want to add any more Dylusions spray on now. I'm going to go in and we're going to add lots of white speckles, because when I have prepped some of the stamped images, I have left a white edge, so I need it to be able to go. And these black circles have come out a lot heavier than I wanted to. So if we just, than what I was planning originally, so this will just sort of knock them back a bit. But of course you could do that with gesso if you wanted. Okay. Now these won't come up perfectly white. They usually do with gloss spray dots, but the thing is, like I said, I did get the card rather wet, and that means that the ink in the core is still wet too, so it does sort of leach into the white quite a little bit, but that's all right, we don't mind. I'm just going to waft that back in. Okay, so where are my journal art elements? So after we've put this in, I'm going to take my journal art element. Like I said, we're going to go for this scribbly words section here. I want to add that in a couple of different places. So I'm just going to put this on my super skinny. I'm going to put it on the edge because I want to go into this corner. This is the problem when you throw too much water at something and you don't dry it in time. But it's okay. And then I'm going to go to my crushed olive. And again, I'm going to use the oxide because I'm going over the top of this black, so I want it to sit on top. Okay, so if you were to use the distress oxide, the regular distress crushed olive, you wouldn't be able to see it at all over the black. Whereas in the oxide, it does sit on top. So it just gives you that extra little bit. And then I'm going to do another one just to the side and up a little bit. And then I think I might do another one just a little bit further down. Okay. I've decided actually I'm going to go for a fourth one down here in this corner. Okay. And then we're going to go back to our Doodle Art butterfly, and we're going to take some of the vines. Now I have prepped and cut some of these out. We're going to take some of the vines and we're going to stamp those. Oh, sorry, my comments have gone, I can't see. And we're going to stamp those in black over here just to sort of balance out the page slightly. But they may get a little bit lost behind, but that's okay. And just sort of, and then it will start to just tie everything in. Hopefully she says. Okay, this has turned out to be a much fuller page. I had actually planned on white space. That worked out exceedingly well for me. Oh, no, it didn't. Right, I am just going to give this another try with the heat tool. I'm hoping at some point it'll actually get dry enough for some of the white elements to stay on. I might use some of my enamel later. Okay, now from this set I have prepped a few different elements. I've done some, like I said, some of the leafy vines. I have prepped one of the awesome flowers as well, and I've prepped loads of the little leaves, including an extra larger one that comes on the flower, and that way I've got all these elements to start building up on here. Okay, so basically what I'm going to do now is just spend a couple of minutes putting them together and seeing how I want them to be on the page, because I don't know, to be honest, whether I would like to do almost like coming in that way and almost have the vines coming in upside down a little. Not really sure, but I do like it. I have to say I do like it like that. I think that's really pretty. If I put it there, it would sort of cover the top of where I've gone in black, and then I could use the other leaves to build up around the bottom, couldn't I? That would be quite cool. So, oh, thank you, my lovely. Sorry, my comments keep stopping. So if I don't see you, I'm not ignoring you. I actually can't see you. Right. So do you know what? I'm going to commit and get the flower on right there. I'm actually loving the green. Honestly, I wasn't sure about the green. I nearly went just red and yellow, but I knew I wanted to do the stem in the leaf in green. So I was like, I've got to make it work somehow, and I think we have, haven't we? I mean, that does work. Put that there, and then put that over the end slightly. We've got another big leaf coming down like that, and then put that little one coming out there. So as you can see, I've left a white line around my cutting out. It's how I like to do it, for several reasons. The principal one is, I know that, for example, like today, even when I had fully intended to try and leave some white space, it's not where my talent lies. So if I leave a slightly white gap, I've always loved layering. I think layering looks beautiful. So leaving a white outline, it's why, for example, all the stamps that come with dies at Bee Crafty do also have a white outline, because we like, it's just what we like to use, basically. in there. And we could do some almost coming out of here, maybe. Put that underneath that leaf. Take some more of the vine. Down from there. And coming all the way down. Just turn that a little. And put it coming all the way down from this one. Okay. Alrighty. Now, like I said, I do need to make sure that a Doodle Art mandala appears on here somewhere, because that's what I've decided. I'm now worried I've put too many vines on, to be honest. But I don't know. I don't know. So, last night when I was doing the sentiment for this one, it was from the ticker tape one, and it was the live every moment, love every day, and laugh beyond words. And I decided that because of the amount of white cutouts on here, that one sentiment would be enough. But now I'm thinking, with the other two, or at least one of them, I could come straight across the middle from that vine. What do we think? Love every day. Do we like the love every day? Right, that's what I'm going with. Alright, where's my gel medium? There we go. And then I'm going to go to my Doodle Art mandala section. Wallet of ones I've got. And I think what we'll do, if I put that on, is that going to be too much? What if I cut that in, or even if I cut it in half and do halves? Is that going to be too much? What else have I got? Got a little one, but I've used that over there. I don't want to use the same one. A page of 2 half circles, one side and line on the other. Yeah. Tell you what I could do. I've got. Sorry, I'm having to keep going back out in that. See, I'm thinking cut it in half, but would something like the middle of here be better? Let's have a look. What do we think of that? Or is that just too much? Or do we actually care if it's too much anyway? Half of it on the centre line. So like that. I think it's because there's this empty space here. I feel like I need something either side. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, I'm going to put it all on. If it's too much, it's too much. But I actually, you know, I'm not fussed, even if it is too much. So I'm going to put this on the centre line here. So I'm just going to lift this side up. And then I'm going to go, this is why it's worth having your doodle art mandalas ready, half coloured in, bits coloured in, and whatever. Because then you can just add them in. Yeah, I'm just going to lift this side of my journal up because it just stops putting too much pressure on that bit. Can you believe this was a sort of low intensity page with white space when it was planned? Worked out well, didn't it? I actually think it did work out well. I was talking about this on Try Out Tuesday on the Bee Crafty page last night. I think I find with art journaling, most of the time, not all the time, but most of the time, stuff rarely goes to plan. Exactly. But you actually always end up... I'll keep dropping the lid of me gel medium. But you always end up with something good. And the reason I always end up with something I'm happy with is because I don't stop until I am. I just keep adding. And just keep adding and just keep adding and just keep adding. Until I'm happy. Because... why not, basically? And I just think with that, like I say, I had something so much more simple planned. But it's just a case. There's still white space, Bev. Well, that's why I sort of add the white space back in. Because I'm fully aware I don't keep it. So I add it back in after using cutouts, etc. now. That seems to be my method of choice now for white space. Add it back in. Because I'm actually incapable of leaving it there. It's not my fault. I get mesmerised by all the colour. There's worse things. So I think that's the thing, and it, like Sam said, it came together, and poof, it was ready, which is brilliant. So, and this is where having your cutouts and stuff really does help. Now, the whole point is these bits I've cut off, and even this frame, because obviously that can be used again. They'll go back in to my doodle art little wallet, my doodle art mandala wallet. And back on the shelf to use it another time. So, and I think that can really speed up your journaling. But I will say this, and this is something I discussed with Louise Sims yesterday. None of us art journal as quickly as we do when we're on a live. None of us do. Okay? Because it's because you guys are here. So whereas we would normally fuss and obsess over a particular placement, or oh, I've wrecked it, or oh, I don't want to continue, or whatever, any of the bad thoughts that you've ever thought whilst you're art journaling, we think them too. But because we're on a live and we're here with you guys, we have to commit, we have to finish, we have to do, you know, what's here. And I'm absolutely chuffed to little meatballs with that. And I think as well, like I say, because the important thing as well, my Try Out Tuesday last night gave me a starting colour, and sometimes that's really helpful, even though there's not much of that colour in it. So yeah, I'm sure I saw someone see, if I didn't, I've imagined it. I watercoloured these with my eco lines, but you could also use your Dylusions spray for that, absolutely. And then, like I say, I just fussy cut them out with some scissors and leave the white line there. Okay, is everyone happy? Like I said, I'm having to go out and in and out, shaking it all about, doing the hokey and everything, to see your comments. So, yeah. Thank you so much for joining me. There is another live on today. I have already forgotten which one it was. I swear it's me age. But check back. If you see something you like on the Crafting Together with All Brands wall, you know, give them a like, give them a heart, give them a comment, say that's blooming ace. And also, share the things you've made so that we can say the same as well. Okay, thank you so much for joining me, guys. And if you do make anything using any of the Bee Crafty stuff anywhere on Facebook, please tag us or tag me or tag Sam, because we're nosy and we'd love to have a look. Or you can put it in the Bee Crafty Stamps group. All right then, guys. Thank you so much. Have a great rest of your day. And I hope, you know, the precipitation does not turn to flakes like it did for Dominique.